Hi. Hello. This is Rhapsody. You're filling in here with Growth Hacker, aka the Reverend Dr. Rhapsody, aka Mr. Transformer, aka Rhapsody Barrero. And one of these days, I'm going to get a schedule. Until then, I'm just going to make videos whenever the thought occurs to me to make a video about something that strikes me as something that I would like to share with you. So here I am doing the damn thing, as they say. And I noticed that, oddly enough, this camera makes this t-shirt look less crappy, which feeds into the point of my first point. The eaten out words, welcome to the rebellion, that came from an interview that Gina Carano had with Drunk 3PO on YouTube, fondly referred to as Jay, after she had gotten canceled from The Mandalorian. And just from something as simple as the pronouns in her Twitter bio, which is ridiculous, because I personally think that pronouns are ridiculous. Call somebody by their name. That's all you have to do. You know, that pronoun stuff. Because of this pronoun, oh, here we go, soapbox. Because of this pronoun thing, we are going to have a generation of children who misuse the English definition of a pronoun. They're going to think that they, them is just somebody over there doing whatever they're doing, as opposed to third person plural, requiring more than one person. I digress. It just annoys me. It doesn't upset me, it just annoys me. I don't get upset, I just get annoyed. Okay, so like I said, so on her Twitter bio for her pronouns, she put beep bop boop because her boyfriend said, you know, you need to put something there. And she was like, okay, put that. And all kinds of hell rained down on her. She wound up getting fired from Disney. Luckily, as I'm also a champion of the independent creator, because as we always say, we can complain about Hollywood until we're blue in the face. Until we come up with alternatives, that's what we're stuck with. And thank God for independent creators. So in Gina Carano's case, the independent creators were the Daily Wire. First in a line of independent creators putting out good stuff with no message, just entertainment. Remember entertainment? Remember when we used to go to a Hollywood movie and if they had some kind of a message, it was just like embedded in the underbelly of the movie, and if you weren't paying attention, you would miss it? Remember those days? Oh my goodness. I can think of so many old movies, and they're not really old movies, well, to me, because I'm going to be 62 in October, but older movies, I will say, that were just good. They were just good. I'm not going to go into a list right now because I'm struggling. But anyway, like I said, so Gina Carano gets dropped by Disney. Daily Wire rings her up and says, hey, we'd like to do a movie with you. She's like, hey, I got some time on my hands, sure. It was a great movie. It was a good modern Western. And I'm just not normally a big Western person. I grew up with Clint Eastwood and wasn't really so much into John Wayne before then. But, you know, Clint Eastwood spaghetti Westerns, totally down for that. Totally down for that. This was a good Western. So that was the first example of independent creators stepping up, filling in the gap, and giving people an alternative. If you haven't signed up for Daily Wire, I suggest you sign up for Daily Wire because they are out there leading the charge of anti-wokeness. I mean, Jeremy Boring came up with Jeremy's Razors in response to the Gillette thing of, trying not to have guys be guys, Jeremy's Razors came up with their own, Jeremy Boring, Daily Wire came up with their own brand of chocolate to combat Hershey's use of a biological male as their spokesperson. And if you haven't seen the commercial, it's great. Well, Jeremy Boring always makes great commercials, and it's just what he does. It's like he sees a woke attack, and he's like, I got an idea. Let's do this. And he does this, and he makes money with it. As in the words of, and that gets to my next independent creator type person, Eric July, creator of the Rippaverse comic book. That's RIPPAVERSE.com. Go there, get your copies of ISOM #1 and ISOM #2, graphic novels. Really good stuff, really high quality. The story is great. You'll just enjoy it. Anyway, so that leads me over to Carol Lynn, who was a manager at a video company, and she got fired just for liking Harry Potter, which is really silly because for some strange reason, the trans community wanted to jump on Harry Potter for whatever silly reason. And just for liking Harry Potter, she got fired. But lucky for her, yes, Eric D. July. Or if you follow him on YouTube, it's Young Rippa 59. He had started the Rippaverse. So he hires Carol Lynn. Why not? She's a quality individual. A great addition to the team. It's a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. So, like I was saying, this line, welcome to the rebellion, it's just one of those ironic things where Gina Carano was on a TV show playing someone in a rebellion, winds up getting fired and initiating her own rebellion. And that's just the way things ought to work. I remember a long time ago, well, a couple of decades ago, when I was listening to Christian radio on a regular basis, there was a song out called When God Closes the Door, Look for a Window. Or as one of my early recovery mentors would say, if God closes a door, the next one is made of gold. It's just about your perception. You've got to get a fix on your perception. If it gets a little out of whack, you turn that bad boy around and say, look, okay, this happened. Facts are facts. It's fine. Deal with the facts. But the thing is, it's perception. Oh my goodness, that reminds me of this story from the Same Recovery Mentor. It's just so good. If you haven't heard this before, sit down. If you've heard this before, it's worth revisiting. Okay, there's this guy, hundreds of years ago, who's out in some Eastern European countries, small Eastern European country. We're not throwing any shade on the situation currently, but this was hundreds of years ago, so it had nothing to do with today. So there's this guy who owns a ranch. He's got horses. He's got this one white horse that is the envy of the entire town. People were constantly coming up to him saying, oh my goodness, why don't you sell this white horse? It's so beautiful, it's so grand. With the money you can move into the city. And he was like, I will not sell this white horse. He is my friend. And one day there was a storm, things got all out of whack and whatnot, and the white horse ran away. And the townspeople came up to, frickin' townspeople, boy, I swear, get a hobby, townspeople, get a hobby. Okay. Other than messing in other people's businesses that has nothing to do with you. Okay, back to the story. The townspeople show up again, like clockwork, and say, oh my goodness, you see, it was not a good thing that you didn't sell your horse, your white horse, that beautiful, majestic white horse, because now he has run away. And there went your opportunity. To which the man responded, I do not know that it was a bad thing. I only know that the horse is not here right now. Like I said, deal with the facts. Work from the basis of facts, not what you think is happening, not what you feel is happening, get all up in your feels. None of that. None of that. Okay, none of that. Just deal with the facts as they are. So, time passes, and the white horse comes back. And he has 7 other white horses with him. And the townspeople, right on time, they're like, you were right, old man. You were always right. It was not a bad thing that the white horse ran away. For he has come back and he's brought 7 other white horses with him. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. To which the man responded, I do not know if it was a good thing. All I know is that the white horse was gone, and now he is back. And he has 7 more. So the townspeople shrug, shake their heads, walk away, as most thumbsuckers would. I'm just writing this in because it's just so fitting. All right, moving on. Continuing the story. So now, since all these white horses were wild, they got to get tamed so they can be useful. You know, attached to a plow or, you know, let the townsfolk ride them for money, whatever. So, one day, while his son is out breaking one of the horses, he gets thrown from the horse and his legs are broken. And then the townspeople, like clockwork, show up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Old man. You were wrong. Your beautiful, majestic white horse came back with 7 other white horses. And in trying to train the wild white horses, your son has his legs broken. This is a bad thing. To which the old man responds, I do not know that it is a bad thing. All I know is that the white horse had gone, had come back with 7 more, and now my son's legs are broken. The townspeople shrug, shake their heads, go back to their homes, watch reality TV. I'm kidding, they didn't have TV back then. But, you know, tiddlywinks, whatever they're doing, I don't know. So, a war breaks out in a neighboring larger country. They are going through the towns, conscripting all of the young men into military service. And they're at war. The neighboring country is at war with a much larger country, and they are quite sure that all of their sons are being sent to their death. But the old man, whose son's legs are broken, he can't go. And then the townspeople, yay, townspeople! Yes. The townspeople show up. They say, you were right, old man. You were always right. It wasn't a bad thing that your white horse left and came back and now your son's legs are broken. And the old man says, I don't know if it was a bad thing. All I know is that my white horse had gone. He came back with 7 more. My son's legs are broken, and he doesn't have to go to war. Perception. Man, I hope you felt that, because I felt that. As many times I've heard this story, I felt a chill going down my entire back from my ears to the back of my calves. You got to feel that. Perception. Just because something that looks bad happens to you doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. I don't know if you're like me. A lot of times, me and a lot of my friends actually, sometimes we get so busy that in order for God to get our attention, God, the universe, divine consciousness, whatever you want to call it, it has to stop us. Like I've been stopped many times in my life. One time I got stopped by homelessness. One time I got stopped by congestive heart failure that caused me to be in intensive care for 6 days. I have another friend. She's amazing. Amazing. Kelly, talking about you. Amazing in the work that she does and all the work that she does. She's got chronic pain. She's got other challenges in her life. It doesn't stop her from doing what she needs to do to provide for her family. Sometimes, though, things will just get to be too much, and maybe she might have to go to the hospital. Divine intelligence causing you to stop, causing you to pause, causing you to take a minute to rethink your strategy. That's all it is. It's a pause for the cause, not a boulder impeding the cause. Write that down, staple it to the inside of your skull, engrave it with a hammer and chisel. It's a pause, not a prelude to the end. It's a pause, not an impedance. It's a pause. That's all it is. What you do during the pause, several things. One thing, for me, it's my default. It's like I live by it. Well, I live by 2 things. First of all, honesty. If you're among my friends, you know. And if you want to be one of my friends, you need to know. I will never lie for you, and I will always come to you with the truth. So my 2 cornerstones are honesty and gratitude. So the first thing you do in the pause is make a list of things to be grateful for. I once had a mentor whose position on himself, whose self-image was so bad that when his mentor asked him to come up with a list of things to be grateful for, all he could come up with is regular bowel movement. If that's the case, then so be it. So be it. Start from there. Like, I have this thing. I haven't done it for a while. I need to get back into it because it's really, 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 really good. I picked it up from Esther Hicks. It started out as a thing where you do it for 17 seconds and then you do it for 4 times, so it winds up being 68 seconds. And for me, I wound up getting to a point where like I would build it up to 2 minutes and up to 3 minutes and up to 4 minutes. Stream of consciousness gratitude. And it goes a little something like this. Best to be done like first thing in the morning when you're just sitting there in your bed, deciding when you're going to get out of bed. Just, Few deep cleansing breaths. Make a funny noise. 3 deep cleansing breaths and stream of consciousness gratitude. Goes a little something like this. Or anyway, this is the way it goes for me. It's like, I'm grateful for my hands. I'm grateful for my feet. I'm grateful for my fingers. I'm grateful for my toes. I'm grateful for my arms. I'm grateful for my legs. I'm grateful for mobility. I'm grateful for my organs. I'm grateful for my senses. I'm grateful for my hair. I'm grateful for my eyes. I'm grateful for my nose. I'm grateful for my lips. I'm grateful for my tongue. I'm grateful for my teeth. I'm grateful for my voice. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for mobility. I'm grateful for my spiritual connection to Source. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my lovers. I'm grateful for my future friends. I'm grateful for my future family. I'm grateful for my future lovers. I'm grateful for my abundance. I'm grateful for my prosperity. I'm grateful for my coming abundance. I'm grateful for my coming prosperity. And on and on and on and on and on. I do it with a stopwatch in front of me, just to keep tabs on it, just to keep tabs on it. And that is that. So, perception, 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 perception. Keep your perception positive. Look for the positive in all things. Eventually you'll get to the point where, like I am, where my default is gratitude. Perfect example. Oh my goodness, this was so great. I'm outside of this place. I went there for a meeting or something. And something happened. My car stopped working. And I was there with some friends. And I was supposed to be dropping them off somewhere, but we got stuck because the car wasn't working. So we call the tow company to tow the car to my mechanic, who luckily for me was just right down the street, but too far down the street to push. So, and it's raining outside, and so the tow truck driver connects my car to the tow truck. It's all linked up and ready to go, and allegedly everything was in place to be safe. What wound up happening was the tow truck started sliding backwards with my car on the back of it and doing damage on the porch of the building that was behind it. So, I guess your standard individual would look at that and say, "Oh my God, my car!" Me, I start laughing because I'm like, "Woohoo! I wonder what God's going to do with this." What did God do with this? Amazingly enough, there was a good Christian man that was the owner of the tow truck company, and he wrote me a check for the car. Meh. Done and done. So, yeah, I was out of a car for a few days. I couldn't drive Uber because that's what I was doing full time at the time. But I got another car. Yay. Grateful. Grateful, 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 grateful. Grateful, 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 grateful. Oh my goodness, and it reminds me of so many. Just, I think of one particular song. It's a gospel song, like a black folks gospel, not a southern gospel, called Be Grateful. And if you haven't listened to it, you might want to give it a listen. Especially if you're in the mud and you feel like you're stuck and nobody understands what you're talking about, nobody can feel your pain. That's the song for you. It's called Be Grateful. And the words go a little something like this. God has not promised me sunshine That's not the way it's supposed to be. But a little rain mixed with God's sunshine makes me appreciate the good times. And then it gets near the end. Be grateful, because there's someone else that's worse off than you. Be grateful, because there's someone else who'd love to be in your shoes. You're like, I'm in the mud, hip deep in this crap. Who would want to be here? Well, how about you're in the mud, but since now you have a gratitude default, you're in the mud, but you still have a house, you still have a car, you still have a family that loves you, you still have friends that love you. You probably still have a job. If you don't have a job, you know you can get a job. It's just a matter of putting forth the effort, putting forth the footwork. Follow divine guidance, follow your intuition. Whew, man, I'll tell you. Follow your intuition. That's another thing that I live by, and it's just a good idea to follow. That you should never work a job for money. I know that sounds silly, but I have worked jobs for little to no money and been happy. I have yet to get to the point where I've worked a job and made a whole ton of money and wasn't happy, because I don't know, it's just a requirement for me. I got to enjoy what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's just slogging through every day. I understand maybe you spent 4 years of your life going to college to get this degree, to get this job, and early on you thought it was a good idea, and then you got into it and you're like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. But you got like a few $100,000 of student debt, and you're like, I gotta do this because I gotta pay back this debt. Let's not get into the scam or the sham of the education system. That's a whole book, really. Okay, because the thing is, I'll do the short version. Elementary school education, pretty much that was something that always used to annoy me as a child. Basically, I learned everything I needed to learn by 5th grade. Okay, 6th grade, because we got to biology in 6th grade. 6th grade. And after that, it was just repeating stuff. Except for like a couple of years where I did foreign languages. I was doing foreign languages in 5th grade. 5th and 6th grade. So yeah, 6th grade. That's all we needed. But the system is set up to make good employees. And oh my goodness, reminds me of the statement from the early mentor that I was talking about. College degrees. Unless, I'm not talking about if you want to be a doctor, yes. If you want to be an accountant, yes. If you want to be an engineer, absolutely. We don't want to be driving on bridges that fall. We don't. It's not fun. Looks fun on TV, looks fun in the movies. I'm sure those real people falling to their deaths in their cars don't think it's fun. Not fun. Everybody else, remember way back in the day. Okay, I'll bring it back to back in Harry Potter days. Talk about full circle. You had mentors. You had apprenticeships. That's how you learned a trade. You found a master that you liked. If you were lucky, he would bring you in. You would work under him for next to nothing or nothing. And after years, you get to be able to call yourself a blah, blah, blah. A blacksmith. That's the first one that comes to mind. But you know, same thing, same deal. But for the most part, the purpose of a college diploma, are you sitting down? Yeah. Unless it's for one of those specified fields. With a college diploma, you can walk up to a prospective employer and he knows that the bearer of this document can be controlled. Let that sink in. The bearer of this college diploma, like I said, unless you're trying to be a doctor, an accountant, an engineer, can be controlled. And that's all they want. They want people that aren't going to give them a hard time. That's why, oh wow, here we go. This whole diversity, equity, and inclusion thing, that's why these people are getting fired. Because they are there as activists. They are not there to bring glory to the company. They are not there to do good things for your bottom line. They are there to hold your nose to the poop that they're shoveling. And if you don't, there will be hell to pay. Unless they don't work for you. So yeah. Those guys are gone. And, okay, I thought of something else. I'm not going there because I don't want to lose friends. It's something else. I'll get to that later. Okay, I'll just leave a drop of it. A drop of it. Just a drop of it. Oh my God. Okay, fine. More than a drop. See, that's the way intuition works. You'll get a thought. Well, I get thoughts, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to say that. And then I'll get a further thought, and that's the universe telling me I need to say that. Okay, so 2 things. Don't hate me. All my women friends, don't hate me. It's just the facts. Don't hate me. Recently, they're finding that a lot of employers aren't hiring women. Okay, there, I said it. And something that I came across on a YouTube video that people forget, people don't pay attention to, and this one new piece of information, I was like, that so makes sense. Women's right to vote was given to them by men. The new piece of information, which is why women should shower simps with love. The right to vote for women was passed by 1 extra vote. The 1 extra vote came from a guy who the night before, his mommy told him women should be able to vote. Prior to that conversation, his vote was going to be no. But since his mommy told him that women should be able to vote, then yeah, you can now vote because of a simp. So congratulations, and treat your simps better. Because you never know what kind of connections they might have. Holy cow, 34 minutes, we are still going. Well, let's see, I guess I could shut it down now. Yeah, I'll just shut it down now because this is already longer. This is literally the longest video I've ever made. And I want to say, hopefully I don't lose any friends over it. And if you go, I understand because it's a lot. It's a lot. I understand. I still love you. I will always love you. I will always be there to support you because you're my friend. I disagree with a lot of my friends. That will not stop me from getting out of my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and coming to you if you need help. Because you're my friend. So, leave your comments below. Do with it what you will. I prefer comments that are like, I don't know, positive. Haters are going to hate, and that's okay too. Don't be hateful just for hateful sake. If you have an actual point and actual references behind it, we can have a discussion. You might be right. You could definitely possibly be right. But I'm the one with the camera. Anyway, we love you long time. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to the Almighty who makes all things possible, even the bad things. Because, like we say, you need bad things in order to appreciate the good things. Sometimes you need bad things just to pivot you in the direction that you're supposed to go. Or, in the immortal words of Buff Coat, otherwise known as Butthead of Beavis and Butthead, you need stuff that sucks to have stuff that's cool. On that happy note, I bid you good day, good night, good evening. Me love you long time. And we'll speak unto you really soon. Until then, bye-bye, everybody.